We're back, episode 42, Torpedo Bats opening week. We're breaking everything that has gone down to start the season. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean 3-2 start. A lot of good things have happened so far. Also some issues just like we expected. But I gotta say, what we saw in the first series with the sweep against the Brewers was, I don't know, it was a pretty fun start to the season at least. I really enjoyed it. A lot of the bats were hot. And yeah, it was really fun.
A lot of high scoring that first week. First games, like 9 home runs we saw in the by or
I
nine.
think two,
Yeah.
9 home runs. That's Yankees single game record.
Man, yeah,
That
a
was
great.
that was the back first three pitches off of Nestor.
Man, my gosh! All right, let's get into this here. Starting with this Brewers series, opening day. I mean, Rodon on the bump. The vibes are high there at the stadium, and 4-2 final. Rodon, 7 strikeouts, only 1 run given up. So a pretty solid line from him, and the bullpen was pretty good. I mean, Devin Williams, his debut at Yankee Stadium, he had a rough outing. I mean, we can't deny he had a rough start. We can't deny that. Obviously, getting bases loaded. He only gave up 1 run, did get out of it, but that kind of concerns you a little bit. I mean, what were you processing there when you see him come out to pitch there?
I mean, me personally, I'm not worried whatsoever. It's been one outing. That's the only time he's pitched for us so far. And it's the first game of the season. So, yeah, there's, a chance that he's still just not worked through everything. He didn't get through everything in spring training possibly. But, yeah, no, I mean, obviously it was scary because we wanted to win that game. But yeah, I mean, I'm not worried. He's one of the best closers in the game, and he will prove that throughout the season. I don't think we have anything to worry about. Obviously, it was scary to watch. But yeah, we're yet to see more of him because he's on the paternity list now. But once he comes back, I'm sure he'll get back into the swing of things and establish himself as the best closer. I mean, this guy has, in previous seasons had a 2 ERA or below. So yeah, when he's out there on the field, he's one of the best out there.
It was definitely exciting watching that game and seeing, Weaver come out in that 8th, and then Devin Williams to follow up. Yeah, it's only one outing. Like I said, you can't take too much from it. I mean, we got exposed to it a lot last year from Clay Holmes. We had some bad closing roles there. So it's, we're used to it, and it's fine. It's first game at Yankee Stadium. He did get out of it. All right. It's not like he gave up a grand slam and we lost the game. He gave up 1 run. We had a lead that was fine enough for him to hold off. And, we won't get to see him until he gets back, but I got good expectations for him. And just as we talked about in the last episode, high expectations for Volpe and Wells. We talked how, these guys really have to step up. And I mean, starting off in that first game of the season, obviously Wells' first at bat, lead off, he hits one out. I mean, you couldn't have scripted up that anymore better than it was. He's been on a tear at leadoff.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been much at leadoff, but when he was, he hit that homer first at bat. Since then, we've seen Goldschmidt in the leadoff for the most part. And tonight, we're recording on April 3rd. Tonight, we're going to see Ben Rice in the leadoff. But, yeah, Wells has been good in the leadoff like he was in spring. And, first game of the season, he hits that homer. Yeah, he's been good. And, Anthony Volpe as well, homer in this game. Also, is up to 4 homers on the season, which, is tied with Judge, I believe, at the top of the American League. So, yeah, the young guy is definitely stepping up, offense producing. And, yeah, the bullpen, obviously there was the struggles with Williams. But I think for the most part, I like what I'm seeing. Tim Hill has been good. Mark Leiter, was looking pretty good. Obviously, we'll talk about more what happened against Arizona with him. But, also Fernando Cruz looking really good. Even Yoendris Gomez pitching pretty well. And Brent Hedrick as well. Ryan Yarbrough. All these guys, for the most part, have been pretty good. And, when you have that combined with, a firepower offense, you're going to win games. That's what we saw against the Brewers.
Exactly. It's the offense, man. I mean, that's what we talked about. We knew the bullpen would stick in it. And, yeah, the guys you just named have all done relatively a good job for us. It's just, can the offense come through and can the starters stay put? And, I mean, you want to talk about offense. I mean, game 2 and game 3 right there. I mean, a total of 32 runs put up by the Yankees. I mean, in the second game, I mean, everyone teed off, and, the big storyline was Nestor Cortez coming back to New York. And, I mean, you couldn't have had probably a worse start than he had. I mean, 3 pitches, 3 home runs. It was a very bad outing.
Yeah. You want to, you feel bad for Nestor. Like we really liked him as a Yankee and didn't really want to see him go. I mean, I guess some of us wanted to see him go after what happened in the World Series, but he was a beloved Yankee, and to see, this happen to him, hopefully it's just, a first outing mishap. But yeah, it was obviously, as a Yankee fan, it's super exciting. 2 of our new guys getting homers in that first inning, being Goldschmidt from the leadoff and Belly in the 2, then followed by Judge. Later in the inning was Wells. So 4 in the first inning, 9 total in that game. It was, some spectacle. Also, I believe that was Judge's 3 home run game. So yeah, it was just crazy to watch, to keep up with. Obviously, there were some errors in that game and not the best pitching. But I think for the most part, how can you not be excited about this kind of performance?
Oh, yeah. I mean, putting up 20 runs, I mean, it was fun to see. It was great to watch. And obviously, we had the errors. We'd like to clean them up. I thought, we got rid of those from last season, but it seems like there's still some defensive mishaps. But again, like we've been saying, season just started, so you can't really, how much can we really judge from what we've seen so far? I mean, it's such a long season. It's just getting going, so, who knows what's going to happen down the line come June, the summer months. So, yeah, we had some defensive errors, but he also put up 20 runs, and, we're blowing them out. I mean, Fried's 7 hits given up, only 2 of the runs earned, like we said. A lot of the defense didn't help him, but you kind of wish he would have pitched a little bit better. But at the end of the day, I mean, you win 20-9. No one's really going to be complaining. Again, his first outing, just like Devin Williams, you're not totally going to expect, boom, a killer start. I really don't think you can complain, especially being the start of the season. You got the win, and that's all that matters. And I feel like that's what, if you want to get into the analytics, I feel like a lot of, if starter can get the win is what matters nowadays.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about this with Fried. When I watched that game, obviously they were making contact with the ball, but, he's a pitch-to-contact hitter. He relies on his defense to make plays. In this game, the defense did not make plays. We made 5 errors. That does nothing to help Max Fried. And I noticed, there was a lot of soft contact that he was getting. Obviously, he wasn't super sharp and he wasn't at his best, but he was getting a lot of soft ground balls, little tappers back right in front of the plate. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't think you can be too mad about what you saw. Yeah, like you said, first outing. He should be back on the mounds, I believe, tomorrow. Um, so we'll see how he bounces back. Yeah. So yeah, I think overall good stuff there in game two.
Game 3, Yanks looking for that sweep. And again, the bats stay hot. Is it the torpedoes? Is it the beards, man? I mean, who knows? But I mean, this series, Yanks pull this one out 12-3, sweep the Brewers. And the offense was on fire this series. I mean, you have another player with multiple home runs in Jazz with 2 this game. You had Judge the game before. Um, he had a bunch of guys with multiple hits. Honestly, like it was all clicking for the Yanks, especially all the new guys. If you guys notice what we talked about in last episode, what our expectations were, it was Volpe, Dominguez, Wells, Goldie, Belly. These new offensive guys that are implemented into this lineup. That's the question marks that we're looking at. How will they play? And you saw from this series, all those guys were really big difference makers, and they stepped up, and it helped everyone else in that lineup, and it was a great first series. I mean, that's all. When I look, what I took from it was I felt like, okay, this is what the potential of this offense could look like. This is what, when these guys are at the best at the offense, this is what this team could look like. Just high scoring, and it's almost like, oh, you score a lot of runs, it helps off the pitching, helps out the pitching and the defense, and I mean that's what we saw here.
Yeah. You know, Jazz Chisholm just really excites me, man. He's, so fun to watch. Obviously, he's got so much pop in that bat. And yeah, we saw it in this game. He had 2 homers with, the torpedo. Um, both of them to right fields. But like, yeah, this guy, he's always been considered like kind of a star, really, but when can he really take it to that next level? Um, I think, this season's a good chance for him to do that, batting behind Judge in this lineup. And, a full season with the Yankees, he'll have the right field to his advantage when he's going to pull those balls. And he's going to use his speed on the base paths. I think it'll be a really fun season. I already like what he's doing out on the field and also off the field, talking, explaining about the torpedo bats and having fun on Twitter or whatnot. I'm excited for this year of Jazz. Yeah, so he proved himself in this game. Marcus Stroman had the ball in this one, 4 2/3, 3 earned. For the most part, we can live with that if our offense is doing this kind of thing and, living up to their potential like they have been. Obviously not the best outing. You'd want a little bit more length out of someone like him, but 3 earned, all things considered, is not the worst for Stroh.
I mean, again, the bullpen pitched well too. I mean, they really pitched this whole series pretty well, and I mean, if you're looking at these 3 games, it's everything we've talked about. I know I keep saying, what have we talked about, but it's like it's what we've been explaining. We've said we're not sure what this rotation is going to be like, and obviously from these outings, all 3 guys. I mean, Rodon pitched well. But all 3 guys we were up in the air about. We were like, we don't know how they're going to come out. And, Stroman and Fried didn't have the best of outings, but it was good enough because the offense picked up. Our rotation, we can be fine with our rotation if the offense just plays up to expectation. We don't have to have our rotation be pitch to pitch. We need it, your best pitch at all time. Obviously, we like that, but it's like, we don't have to rely on that if the offense just plays up to what we're hoping they can be and what they should be. And you saw it this series, 20-9, 12-3, and then 4-2. I mean, 4-2. That's the first game of the series, first game of the season. I mean, that game's going to be up for grabs, and it was just a clean game. I think it was just a clean series, a good series. I think everything that you wanted to honestly see from this team.
Yeah, really good series. Obviously, start off 3-0. That's exciting. Then we get the day off, and then we play Arizona. Not as great results in this series. Obviously, we saw what the best of the lineup can be in the Brewers series, and now we're kind of seeing what the worst of it can be. You know, especially last night, game 2 of the Arizona series. I believe there was 16 strikeouts as a team throughout the 9 innings. Um, I mean, what else can you say? It's, polar opposites. You're hitting 9 bombs in a game, and then you get struck out 16 times. Obviously, they had Zach Gallen on the mound, but you know, you can't just you can't use that as the excuse. Everyone striking out multiple times really just wasn't a good look.
It's that inconsistency, and it already is showing early. I mean, how many times have we seen, these Yankees teams play so good in one game, and then the next series they just look awful. And this was it. And the second series of the season, and we're already seeing, 16 strikeouts that, Yankees haven't done in years. It's like, I don't even know if they have ever done that. I think it set the record. It might have. I'm not totally sure. Probably did. It's still a high number that you don't want. And it's like, well, you just went from scoring 20 runs, 9 home runs, 9 different people hitting home runs to, now you can't even get a hit. So it's just, and obviously, D-backs are a good thing, are a good team, and probably makes you question, how bad are the Brewers, or like, are the Brewers even that great? I mean, I know after that series we're losing to like Royals 10-0, so they might not be a great team, and D-backs have good pitching. Burns and Gallen we saw, so it's not great. I mean, and then in the first game though, Yankees are winning, and again it's the young guys: Rice, Volpe, Dominguez, Homer, and then Mark Leiter. We just talked about, he had a great outing in the first series, and then he comes into that first game and blows the game with that that home run. It's just, I don't know. It's frustrating to see already, but I don't know what to take from it. I mean, it just wasn't great. I mean, we'll see tonight how they bounce back from the really bad outing yesterday. I mean, you see on the scorebook 4-3, but I mean, it was 4-0 the whole game. Yankees couldn't buy anything on offense, and then that last inning, Volpe hits that 3-run home run. So it looks better than it really was. It wasn't great. It wasn't a great second series so far.
Yeah, just going back to game 1, if that game we also had 14 strikeouts, by the way. So back-to-back games with a ton of strikeouts. But that being said, we were able to do some damage on Corbin Burns. Not a ton, but we did some. He went less than 5 innings, got ourselves a lead. And, obviously we'll talk a little bit more about Will Warren's start. But, we got out to the lead. He comes out of the game, and we have some struggles with Tim Hill. Mark Leiter gets put into a tough situation and then gives up that grand slam to Eugenio Suarez, gives the Diamondbacks the lead, and they, keep the lead from there and take the win. It was a tough one to swallow because, we had that lead for most of the game, and then they go up and put a 5 spot up in the 8th inning. So, a tough game. overall, Dominguez doing a good job. Volpe having one of his home runs. Rice having another good game. Um, but obviously, we come away with the L. In this one, yeah, we can talk about Will Warren's start. 5 innings, 4 strikeouts, not a ton, but he limited the runs to 2, and it was on a home run. I liked what I saw out of Will Warren. What about you?
Yeah, I think he definitely exceeded the expectations. I mean, after last season, really didn't have a great couple goes out there. So for this game, I mean, he did his job. You know, when you got to start to go out there, only give up at least just 2 runs, especially from an offense that we just saw put up that amount of runs, you kind of expect that the team would help him out there. And I mean, like we said, for the most part, he turned it around and got them in control. Through 5, Yankees pulled ahead, and then obviously the bullpen has its mishaps, but I think honestly Warren definitely proved himself there that he's showing improvements, and especially for like a Diamondbacks team that they got a pretty good offense. I mean, this is a high power offense that's got a lot of high expectations for this season. A lot of people think they'll do well, and I think they will do well. And so for him to come in first start of the year, you can't complain. I'm pretty happy with the outing he put up.
Yeah, absolutely. And he also showed some emotion out there, and he got pretty fired up after some of his strikeouts. Especially at the end of that 5th inning. Yeah, I love to see it. The kid, he's just a kid, and last season didn't go great for him. A 10 ERA, but he comes in, wins the starting rotation job, of course, because of some injuries, but he goes out there and does it well against who was ranked the #1 offense last season. So yeah, I like what I saw out of him. Hopefully he can grow into this role this season and establish himself as a really nice major league starter, because I know the Yankees and the pitching staff and coaches all really like his stuff. So it will be great to see what we can get out of him while our guys are still injured.
Definitely could use him. I think we said last episode talked about how maybe he could become like our new Luis Heel from last season, where Heel stepped up, had a monster Rookie of the Year season. So I mean, if Will could do that, we definitely need we need that next man up mentality, and if he could provide that juice, love his energy there. We need to keep that in the clubhouse here, and if they could just start clicking, like it's looking at this, it's like the same rotation we were at last year. I mean, you still got Stroman, Fried, steps up. It's like how Rodon had to step up. You still got Rodon. Now you got, instead of Luis Heel, you got Will Warren. You got Carrasco in. So, it's just a bunch of guys that are all all bring something different to the table that, could possibly surprise some people. And I mean, for the most part so far between these two series, hasn't been terrible. I mean, it's honestly tough to judge because, this series not great on offense, last series great on offense. So it's just, again, start of the year. So it's, how much can you take apart so far? And it's just like into this next game, the game yesterday. I mean, Rodon on the bump, he pushed through 6 innings, which will definitely help going forward today with the bullpen and this whole rest of the week, because Yankees pretty much play back-to-back days a lot. So pretty much it was just him and Gomez used. Gomez 3 innings, pretty solid, nothing given up. Played his mark, and it honestly led into Rodon, because I think Rodon retired like his last 10. It was like his last 10 hitters or something like that. I mean, he first 2 innings gave up the 4 runs, which was the only ones giving up, and then it seemed like he locked in, which you'd like him to just lock in the whole game, but locked in the rest of the way through 5 Ks, just again 4 walks. Control wasn't there, got into some sticky situations, but again, 4 runs on the board. This offense, you'd hope to put up more than just 3, and especially 3 that came in the 9th inning. So it's just the offense, man. It's gotta stay consistent.
Yeah, this was the game of the strikeouts. Looking at this box score right now, you had Paul Goldschmidt with 2, Judge with 3, Dominguez with 3, Rice with 3, Cabrera with 2. Yeah, so what we're looking at is what we saw a decent bit last year, is that, when if we need to put the bat on the ball in order, to hit those homers and to, put up offense, obviously. So there was nothing the whole game. Obviously, probably I don't know, maybe most disappointing game of the season so far. Obviously, the season's still young, but 0 runs put up until the 9th inning. You'd want to see more of a fight than that. Yeah, I think only getting like 3 hits off of Zach Gallen, who almost went a full 7 innings. Yeah, definitely just not cutting it.
Definitely a disappointing series. I mean, Yankees lost the series, but they have a chance tonight to at least not get swept. And yeah, it's disappointing because the first game you easily could have won that game and keep that winning streak going, keep the vibes high there. But to obviously blow that game and then seemed like it just led into the next game. Obviously yesterday again, just totally destroyed by Gallen. It was not great. So I mean I think that's our I think the thoughts for this series right now. Not so great. Had chances, offense didn't show up, and then Brewers series offense showed up. So I mean, so far we've got a glimpse of pretty much a lot so far from both sides of the offense and the pitching, both good and bad, which it's honestly good and bad. So I mean, that's the
I wanted
recap.
to I wanted to ask you. We haven't talked much, but I wanted to see what your thoughts were on Jason Dominguez and what we've seen out of him so far. Looks like we might have lost Ryan for a sec, but I guess I could go into what we're seeing from Jason Dominguez so far, and maybe we'll get Ryan back soon. But yeah, Dominguez, I wanted to talk about it because he obviously has had some defensive struggles in left field, and some concerns about his bat as well, especially from the right side. So yeah, there's definitely I really don't know what it is, but yeah, he just does not seem super comfortable in left field. Maybe it's just not the position for him. But yeah, the transition from center might be difficult, but I don't see that being the reason really. He just hasn't looked super comfortable out there. Even, just recording fly balls, he seems to lose the ball sometimes. Fielding, liners in the outfield as well. We saw one instance of that where he, bobbled the ball. And then at the plate, has hit 1 homer so far, but definitely striking out more than we want him to, not making too much contact. But yeah, he, obviously season's still young, 5 games so far. So with this everyday role, I want to see what he can do for the rest of the season. But yeah, Dominguez definitely hasn't been outstanding thus far. Glad we got you back.
Sorry about that. Some technical difficulties over here. What were you saying? Did you already talk about it?
Yeah. I just went through what we've seen out of Dominguez. The defensive struggles out and left, and also on offense. Hasn't been the best season for him so far.
Yeah.
He did have one nice game with a couple hits, but also striking out a lot more than we want.
Yeah, definitely. He's done all right. I think probably everything that you said is what we've seen. Some good at bats, some not so good at bats. Some plays in the field. I guess we'll give it some time, just like the rest of the area. Season just started. His at bats weren't terrible. Um, it's just like the offense. We had a good series, then a bad series. So I guess we'll just have to see how we'll see how it starts progressing down the line.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, we got what? Pirates?
Yeah, Pirates coming up. One final game tonight against the Diamondbacks, and then we'll see the Pirates, I believe, at Pittsburgh.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be our first away games of the season. We're not going to be facing Paul Skeens, which is a good thing because he's a dog. So yeah, hopefully against a Pirates team that isn't the best, we can recover.
Again, this is a lot of new faces on this team, so this start of the season should be very interesting. There's a lot of storylines you guys should be able to watch for. Obviously, we got Freed on the bump again. And again, how will this offense perform? Every game will be interesting to see, every series, because it's a brand new team. There's a lot of new guys. So each series is going to be important and fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it. It's been an exciting start to the year. I'm glad baseball's back. I'm glad we're able to talk about the Yanks again, and a lot of good vibes. And let's keep these good vibes going. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think that's all we got. We'll be
See you
ordering
next week.
some. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week, and we'll order some new torpedo bats.
Oh, hell yeah.
Everyone's got to get them. All right. Go Yanks.
Peace.